So I play a lot of video games, quite a lot actually. It's one of my favorite pastimes, aside from, reading and writing and all that. So over the years I've played games that people consider classics, and also myself I'll consider them classics, the likes of God of War 3, Sunset Overdrive, Blur, Assassin's Creed Unity, Watch Dogs 2, Persona 4, for Red Dead Redemption, Rayman Legends, and many others. If you look closely at the games I just mentioned, you realize that none of them are games from this decade or anything since before 2020, more or less. It's almost as if to be a classic, you have to be a tad bit on the older side. Give or take at least 5 years. I don't personally agree with this sentiment, but I'm going to rock with it for this video. With that being said, I'm going to nominate games that, in my opinion, will be considered classics when the time comes, or when society wants to generally accept them as classics. Those pretentious people. This video will contain 5 honorable mentions and 5 actual games that I will consider them classics as of right now, and when the due time comes for them to become classics. If you do enjoy this video, I want to kindly ask you that you subscribe. I'm trying to get to 400 subscribers and I'm very close, and I think YouTube has shadow boundary. So if you're a new viewer, please, you'll be doing me a good favor if you subscribe. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. This game was released in 2021 and I played it in 2023 when it released on PC because I wasn't able to get it on PS5, sadly. Visually, this has to be a very stunning game. It has some of the best cinematography in gaming history. Oh my god, the people who worked on the cutscenes, those people really did a good service. Those people really did a good job at it. I was so happy anytime I was playing. I was seeing the cutscenes, I was like, damn, this is so marvelous. It doesn't feel like any static mess like modern day RPGs from Ubisoft. I'm talking about the Assassin's Creed games, and even to an extent even the Horizon games.
Hey, Fernand, my eyes are up here.
I'm looking at your spear.
The combat is quite simple but effective for what the game wants. You just have the blaster and your melee combat, and god, you can use them to kill all the enemies you have. That's like one of the best features of the game, just hitting those guys, hitting them. It's actually a quite fun experience in my opinion. But the best part of the game definitely has to be the portal travel. That mechanic was such an innovation, honestly. I didn't know I needed it, especially how it added to the layers of the gameplay, adding more world building and more worlds to travel. It also helped. Sadly, the reason why it's just a honorable mention and why I don't consider it a classic and not in my top 5 are because of these 2 drawbacks. Number 1, the repetitive nature of the world. Yes, we have multiple worlds, but yeah, some of them are so repetitive and it's like we're just seeing the same thing over and over again, and damn, most of them not even have all that much depth, sadly. And number 2, the convoluted story, also using the dual protagonists. It's not like GTA 5 or Spider-Man 2, and it's really hard following up their storylines when it's not really explained all that well, sadly. And I'm not really interested in Rivet. That's why I'll just not consider this game a classic and keep it as an honorable mention. As for the first classic we have on this list is definitely Astrobot, 2024's Game of the Year winner, and in my own opinion, it definitely deserved it over Black Myth Wukong or Warhammer. Astrobot is a game that has brought the genre of platformers back to the mainstream, and it has more or less dethroned Nintendo's Super Mario. After all the stupid things Nintendo have decided to do over the years with their lackluster business decisions and just their very greedy mentality, the game boasts stellar gameplay and mechanics. You use the PS5 and its controller to the best of its ability. Astrobot is another case where simple mechanics elevates the enjoyment of a game, and it's just really a gorgeous experience, honestly. And I think we can be honest that the best thing about the game is actually the Easter eggs to other PlayStation games. Like, oh my god, this is very strong nostalgia based, in all honesty.
My master. Safe. The scriptures. Sound. All I ever wanted was a life in my mountain.
Black Myth Wukong, yes, I said it. Sure, one of the most popular games that came out last year. I'm not going to consider it a classic. Sure, it was popular, but there are reasons here as to why it's just a honorable mention and not a classic, in my opinion. I mentioned that it did not deserve Game of the Year, and I'm actually standing on that. I'm sure I've pissed a lot of people off, but I'm not sorry about that. I love the world of the game. I love the design. I love the art style. Something I don't love is the fact that the game is so linear, but gives you a map to throw you off to think that actually there's more depth to this world than there actually is. Even though it's, like I said, very, very, very linear. In fact, when it starts to seem open, the game will actually go out of its way to let you know that, yeah, I'm not really giving you any options. You have to go back to where we want you to go, even though it looks like there's another path to follow here. Stupid game. Train that stick around is a very nice experience, but what I don't like about it, number one, the varying difficulty in enemies. So I could defeat one boss and he'll be reasonably difficult. Then the next one about to lose will be a walk in the park. Even though it's supposed to be like, I guess, a tad bit harder. And then the next one will now show me health, even though this one was like very, very easy. I'm like, okay, there's no balancing in the combat. I'm okay, sure, if the game is supposed to be hard, then make it hard. If it's supposed to be easy and hard, then balance it at the very least. Number two, the very poorly explained leveling up system. Like, Jesus Christ, I didn't even know I could upgrade my stuff until I was fighting the Tiger Vanguard. And God knows how long it took me to fight that boss. Like, the game doesn't do a good job at giving you tutorials, and it just more or less smacks you right into it. After that beginning sequence, you're really just left to fend for yourself. Lastly, but not the least, the game crams too much boss battles between each other. There's no room for me to breathe as a player. It's as if I defeat one boss, then I fight two regular enemies. I turn left and I find another boss to fight. That'll take me a long while to fight them again. And honestly, that formula gets really, really boring after some time.
I don't share Kakarot's taste for forgiveness. Go back to hell.
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is another one of the most popular games of last year. Honestly, when it came out last year, you just had to be there. How this thing exploded in popularity. I even have like 2 or 3 videos about the game. Main reasons why this game broke the gaming world is due to the fact that it was simply just a fun game. And this is coming from me who has played a lot of Dragon Ball games. I'm talking the PSP Shin Budokai games, I'm talking Xenoverse 1, and I'm talking Xenoverse 2, and Dragon Ball Fighter Z. So I know what I'm saying. This game was very fun. I believe I have like 3 videos of this game on this channel that are still up, which you can still find and watch, even though I've pivoted from gaming content. This game is a love letter to the Dragon Ball universe, with characters and arenas from each aspect of the manga and the anime. Even some fan-made stuff are there. So the fans will definitely love the sheer size of the roster and how distinct each character's fighting style is. And you will love it, in all honesty. I like shout out to Yachirobe, bro. This guy is unnecessarily overpowered. Like, if you don't finish him off at once, I'm sorry, bro, he will come back and bite you. That's just the sad fact about the game. Yes, I love this game. In my honest opinion, it's a 10 out of 10. Screw what IGN thinks.
The feeling of traveling back to a simpler time when games didn't have to be balanced or competitive to be fun is a good one. Especially when that action stays so true to that of the show it's recreating. Reliving a story that was foundational to my youth, looking and sounding as great as I remember it, with the opportunity to alter it in sometimes dramatic new ways is clever, and the addition of tools to attempt to create your own stories could elevate the experiment even further if a community can figure out how to make them work.
There you are.
Lies of P. This is a Souls-like game that I honestly wished I played this year, because apparently it was updated now and now it has multiple difficulties. Yeah, where was that when I was playing it last year? You stupid ass game developers. No hate to y'all. No hate to y'all, but honestly I needed that ever since. The game is lovely in setting and even in combat, although it's quite challenging, I'll be very, very honest. That's my main gripe with these Souls-like games. They suck your soul, literally. Honestly, this is some stellar world design. And for a linear game, the retro puppet dominated England dystopia is very, very well done and very, very beautiful. Now here's my main problem with the game and why it doesn't really stand as a classic for me. I don't get the bloody story, man. What the hell is it about? Like, why is everybody attacking me? The answer is, I don't know, because I don't think they do a good job at explaining it to you. It's just like, okay, I escaped this factory, now I have to fight everything, because why the bloody hell not? WWE 2K22. Yes, I'm putting a yearly release title here, because like, why the bloody hell not? After the horrendous game that was WWE 2K20, 2K Games had a strong redemption. If not, the WWE Games franchise would be in the mud. And 2K22 was that redemption that it really needed. The reboot that came at the right time and the reboot that was done well. This game was a complete gameplay and visual overhaul. It finally gave us gameplay that was fun again. A Rey Mysterio showcase mode that was really nice. Large roster which comprises of superstars from 2020 to 2021. But Adam Cole isn't there. Neither is Bray Wyatt also. May his soul rest in peace. The big advantage the game had was also the fact that the WWE as a product was vastly improving, and it was very good television at the time. Unlike now it just sucks, man. Like WWE actually sucks right now, I'll be very honest. Elden Ring. Yeah, I think you can see the pattern now. Another Souls-like game that is in the honorable mention tier. I think you've definitely seen the pattern. Yes, I'm not a big fan of these ultra challenging games, and I'm not sorry about that. Sure, these games teach you resilience and perseverance and not giving up, but that's honestly not my cup of tea. I play games in my leisure period, and if the difficulty is going to prevent me from making progress, why should I bother to continue if it's just going to suck the soul out of me? Yeah, I had to make that joke. I don't have much time on my hands anymore as I grow older, so I can't be wasting it on some optional boss which I'm trying to defeat, all for the sake of boosting my clearly fragile ego. But yeah, Elden Ring is a good game, I guess. It won the Game of the Year in 2022, and its DLC was nominated for Game of the Year in 2024. See that it was just very good, or it's just a bunch of hype. And clearly I haven't also played this one. I've played Lies of P, I've played Black Myth Wukong, but I haven't played Elden Ring. Maybe sometime in the future I'll play it, but yeah, I haven't played it as of right now. I hope that doesn't discredit my opinion. Well, if it does, screw you. For the next classic game, I'm going to be talking about God of War Ragnarok. This is the sequel to 2018's God of War reboot. But this time it's more expansive and has more to explore, and with the story and the premise of destiny, determinism, and Ragnarok itself. First of all, you get to play more as Atreus, which in all honesty is a nice addition. You get to see more layers of Atreus and Atreus' lore, which really goes far. You see Kratos' character development from this angry, arrogant, brash warrior in the earlier games to this calm, stoic father who only fights for the survival of himself and his son. So throughout this story, Kratos is trying his best to avoid having to be a partaker of this Ragnarok battle. When it comes to the gameplay itself, it isn't much of an improvement, but that isn't even a bad thing, because the first game was more or less perfected. Well, the first game was more or less perfect when it comes to gameplay. What the game did improve on though was the world. It was more expansive and layered, and the side quests felt less like a chore and more of something that does a good job at fleshing out the world of the game. The game would have honestly been number one if not for the fact that I haven't finished the story yet and I'm currently playing it right now.
Looking slick, buddy.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor. The sequel to 2019's Jedi Fallen Order, a game that I played on this channel a year ago, which I may or may have not deleted. I honestly can't remember. I haven't checked it. I've pivoted from gameplay videos, so I really honestly don't know if that video is still up. If it's there, you could check for it. And maybe you enjoy it, you see some value in it, some of my older videos. This sequel is grander and more expansive than the first one. Each planet isn't just linear, they had a lot of depth and even side quests to flesh them out properly. The cutscenes are something straight out of a movie with how cinematic they are. They feel so immersive, like something that to draw you into the story. Unlike the cutscenes in another Ubisoft Star Wars game called Star Wars Outlaws, which nobody likes and neither do I. It's just a bland, basic, average game that honestly I feel if I bought it for $70, that would be a waste of my money, and I could just break the disc after buying it because of how much of a bland, bang average, sorry excuse for a $70 game that it is. Oh, Star Wars Jedi Survivor is honestly a big improvement over the first one. And I also want to add, it has different stances for the lightsabers and the fighting style, and Carl is way more customizable with his hairstyles and his beard. Yes, bro, Carl has a beard now. He's a big man. Well, yes, it's definitely a big improvement. I love this definitely more than I loved the first one. And the only reason why it isn't even considered a classic in my opinion is due to the fact that navigating this planet, even though it's no longer linear, is actually quite a daunting task, and also I haven't finished the story. I'm also currently playing it right now, so I can't really put it as a classic. So now that we're done with all the honorable mentions, let's get into the number one. But wait, before we get to number one, there's this small intermission. If you're enjoying this video, I want to ask you for a very small favor. Please subscribe to the channel. We're pulling up on 400 subscribers. We're like 3 away at the time of recording. If you subscribe, you help me get closer, and I really appreciate you for that. I try to get to 400 subscribers before the end of the year.
I found you, Shadow!
So number one, Sonic X Shadow Generations. Yes, this is number one. This will be considered a classic when the time comes. The way the God of War 2018 game is considered a classic, the same way Mafia Definitive Edition is considered a classic, the same way Hitman 3 is considered a classic. That is the same way Sonic X Shadow Generations will be considered a classic when the time comes. The game itself is a half remake and half a new game. The remake part updated the graphics and the dialogue of the original Sonic Generations and ported it to the modern consoles. It refined the gameplay and brought the rich history of Sonic to the modern audiences and the younger generation. This alone would have been enough for me to even put it as a honorable mention. But no. The game went out of his way to do more. And that's why we have the half new game parts. Part of why I'm calling it a new game is because the Shadow section is too expansive to just call it simple DLC. No. Shadow has his own distinct storyline, and honestly a way better hub world and a story about loneliness and letting go. The game went out of his way to make Shadow not just feel like an extension of Sonic, but his own character in terms of looks, movements, and most especially in gameplay mechanics. Shadow got a whole array of new powers that were fun to use, and honestly take those powers over using Super Sonic once throughout the whole game. So yes, clearly I really love this game. One of the best games I've played throughout this decade, even though we're only like halfway there. So yes, this game and all the other games I mentioned will definitely be considered classics in the future. I just wanted to share my opinion on this. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video. Yes, I didn't ask for a like earlier, so please like the video. Thank you very much for watching, and YouTube thinks you like the video on screen here, so click it and I'll see you there.